A reminder, the news does not stop here. Here's what's coming up on WCNC Plus at 7 a.m.
So what are the roads looking like in and around Charlotte? We'll have details coming up.
We're tracking power outages as Duke Energy is asking everyone to conserve energy.
But if you could think about bumping it down even just a few degrees, every degree is going to help.
How you can do your part to reduce stress on the power grid during this cold snap.
Today, we hear from one of the most famous forecasters, Punxsutawney Phil.
What his Groundhog Day call means for our weather ahead.
Those stories and much more live, local, and breaking news coming up at 7 a.m. on WCNC Plus.
All right, we're still very cold this morning. Temperatures right around 13 degrees, but a lot of us in the single digits. 47 degrees by tomorrow, going to be cold, about 20 degrees. After that, we're kind of up and down, seeing some rain, even a wintry mix heading into your Wednesday evening, and then a mix either side of 50 degrees heading through the weekend. And I showed you that extended forecast. Should be close to 60 degrees. Happy Groundhog Day, everyone. We're halfway through winter, getting at least a little bit better as we head into week number 1 for the second half.
Some good news there. And a reminder, the Scouting for Food Drive is underway. And this is the 34th year that WCNC Charlotte has partnered with the Scouts. This week, Scouts are dropping off door tags. If you get one, they'll be back this Saturday morning to pick up your donation. Just leave your items in a bag on your doorstep by 9 a.m. Even if you don't get a door tag, you can still help. Just text Scout for Food to 50155 to make a monetary donation.
And happy Groundhog Day, everybody. Make sure to join us on WCNC Plus. We'll see you soon. Take care.
Good morning and thanks for joining us on WCNC Plus at 7 a.m. I'm Megan Bragg, in for Ben.
And I'm Autumn Bracey in for Lisa Washington. We are going to check in with meteorologist Chris Mulcahy. Chris, one of the coldest nights we've seen so far this season and really for years.
Yeah, this has been crazy, which, by the way, Happy Groundhog Day, everyone. We're super pumped about that. Well, just letting you know that all in all, that frozen, melted snow that we saw for the course of yesterday, that is now significantly frozen over. And we're also going to be dealing with some hard freezes on and off throughout the week. One morning, though, does stand out from all the rest. Hold on one second. My graphics were frozen on me. Current temperatures right now, 11 degrees. So as Autumn was just saying, so getting my act together, 11 degrees is where we're at right now. It feels like 11 because we don't really have much of a wind. So that's the good news. The last time that we were this cold was actually back in December 2022. So it was December 24th. We had a low of 9 degrees. It was back on the 25th that we had a low of 13 degrees. So we're already in between those marks. So we haven't even been close to that 9-degree point since that point. Temperatures will start to warm up. I think we're back in about another 2 degrees warmer than where we're at right now. And then eventually getting down up to around that freezing point heading into the afternoon. And a little bit more specifics here. Today, I think, is the last day that you won't really want to build a snowman. And the reason why I'm saying this is that snowman snow wasn't great a couple of days ago. Yesterday was kind of that sweet spot. Saw a lot of great images that had to deal with that. But now we are officially at the point that it's still going to be soft enough, could turn a little bit icy. By tomorrow, I think we're seeing less and less. So our snowman window is starting to really close out. As far as the next 5 days, 40 degrees is what we're expecting today. Back to the mid to the upper 40s Tuesday and Wednesday. And then the big focal point is going to be where we're going for your Wednesday and Wednesday night because we have a chance for a wintry mix. So let's talk about Punxsutawney Phil. We're going to have that live here on our WCNC Plus. Here's Punxsutawney. Notice that cloud cover has pushed its way further off towards the east. The way the superstition goes is that whenever there is a clear sky, it can only get worse for the second half of winter, and then animal casts a shadow at that point. However, I'm calling a PR move. I think Phil says, wow, it's been really bad. We need to give some people some optimism, and that's what's going to happen. That's what Jeffrey's trying to do, even though Jeffrey earlier was trying to say winter. I was like, don't do that, man. You're making us look bad. Or maybe I'm making myself look bad by wearing this ridiculous hat. But I've been doing it for 14 years, so I'm just going to keep it going. So that's why I think Phil is going to call, truly, the way the superstition goes, he should be saying 6 more weeks of winter, but fingers crossed, y'all. We need something, right? Well, I'm happy to say that temperatures are actually trending in a better direction. We're seeing a nice batch of the 20s, one above freezing low. That's all the optimism that you need. And we're back to 40 degrees by the 11th of February. And at that point, our long-term forecast is even showing highs near 60 degrees. All right, so let's focus in on the next precipitation chance for your Wednesday. What's happening is we have a low pressure system that's moving in. Sorry for my groundhog hat hair. And we see rain initially, but we're just warm enough that it's just rain. The back side of this, the way that it rotates, filters in some of that cooler air. So that's why by your Wednesday evening, we're starting to see a rain-snow mix, even some sleet mixing in, and all snow, I think, primarily north of the I-40 corridor. Not a lot of precipitation come from this, but still, I think, enough that'll come through. I'll show you what it looks like on our future cast. We start off sunny, clouds start to roll in, and eventually we start to see that rain scattered throughout. So let's get right to our 7-day forecast. Holding temperatures really through the 40s and the 20s for our lows. Seeing a nice little pop back up to 51 degrees. We have not had an above average day in over a week. We'll have a shot at that by days 8, 9, and 10 of that extended forecast. Again, happy Groundhog Day, everybody.
All right. Thank you, Chris. Love the hat. 14 years and it just gets better
I know,
every year.
right?
Well, we are just minutes away from finding out how much longer we're going to be dealing with this weather. It's Groundhog Day, an almost 140-year-old tradition, if you can believe it.
Yes, Punxsutawney Phil is getting ready to come out and see if he can see whether we're in for more winter or an early spring, and we're both hoping for an early spring. So let's go to Gobbler's Knob in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. Take a look at that fun over there. Okay. Looks like some dancing.
And there was some singing happening earlier. Optimism is high there. It's a party that Megan and I wish we were at.
We really do.
Maybe we just weren't invited.
We're
Look
not.
at all those people.
Oh my gosh, so many people. What a fun time. What a great tradition just to get everybody out there and excited for this tradition, really, is what it is. So awesome.
And of course, we will be bringing you the results of Punxsutawney.
Okay, yeah, we are just going to join the party and, feel the beat. Really? Gobbler's Knob. Have you been to Pennsylvania?
I have not. It's on my bucket
Yes,
list. I
yes.
know Lisa, she worked in Pennsylvania
Lisa
once upon a
has.
time.
Yep. So I'm wondering if Lisa has ever been to this just because of how fun it is. I know a few of my colleagues that I used to work with used to go every year. She was like Punxsutawney Phil, you know.
It looks like
Number
an
one fan.
unforgettable experience. You know, like
Yeah.
some places like the Big Apple, we know it's known for the ball drop. This, we know it's known for, you know, the revealing of the groundhog. What is the groundhog going to do?
What is it going to do?
But I think one thing to note, Chris has said it throughout the morning, the groundhog is only about 35% correct when he
Yep.
makes these estimates, but that's okay. We're all for tradition, right?
We are all for tradition, and we absolutely love it. Okay, coming back here, despite lots of progress clearing roads, extreme colds and threat still remains.
WCNC Charlotte's Richard Devane. All right, we're going to keep it live here.
You know what? We're going to toss to a quick break, but keep it right here on WCNC Plus.
You know, just make me wanna. I still remember when you used to be my rose. I was good to you from the bottom of my soul. Yeah, now that you enough to know. Yeah, you wanna leave me, you wanna let me go. I want you to know. Now wait a minute. Feel alright. Now that I got my woman, I feel hey alright. You've been so good to me.
You ready to get weird? Okay, thank you to Miss Pennsylvania, Joe, our national anthem singer, Ryan Jewell. Hey, we gotta say goodnight and good morning to the Philette featured dancers. Philette, come down this way. We need them to part the seas. They're gonna come down right here. Please make way.
Let them through. This is a line
for the Phillettes.
The inner circle will be coming in when you make a line.
We need to make a direct line for the inner circle. These Phillettes are going to come down. They got pointy little elbows, and they're going to use them.
Hey, you got too much to the right, dear. Straight up.
Part C's. Joseph Scuzzo. Give it up for Joseph Scuzzo. He's been here all morning. This is spring break, we call him. He was here last year. He's helping us out on the stage show, and he's been putting in a lot of time and effort. So give it up for Joseph Scuzzo.
Old man Winter. Can you send in the tall hats, please?
Marcy? Please give us love. Executive Director, Punxsutawney Groundhog.
Ladies and gentlemen, won't you please give a rousing welcome to the inner circle of the Punxsutawney Groundhog Club as they make their annual trek to Governor's Knob.
I am merely the messenger.
Good morning! I'm Thomas Dunkel, President of the Punxsutawney Groundhog Club. Welcome to Punxsutawney! Welcome to Groundhog Day! Woo! Who's fired up for an early spring? 6 more weeks? How many guests are visiting us for the very first time? Wow. I hope you're having a great time. How many guests have visited us 2 or more times? Woo, we love it. Welcome back. All right, now this is it. How many people are celebrating their birthday? Nice. Happy birthday. Well, let's get down to it. Rob McCoy, Downpour. He does an awesome groundhog call. He's going to say groundhog, and you're going to say groundhog. Something like that. Are you ready?
Hey guys, how you doing today? Are we cold? I didn't think so. Are we ready? Groundhog! I don't know, guys. Come on, let's do it again! Groundhog! Awesome, guys!
Mr. Vice President.
Yes, sir.
Dan McGinley, will you please introduce the members of the Inner Circle?
Be happy to. Thank you. Welcome again. Happy Groundhog Day to all. It's time to get serious. We need to hear what Phil has to say. But before we do that, we want to introduce those standing on the stage who make Groundhog Day possible. First of all, I want to acknowledge all the dignitaries that are joining us here on stage. Been here all morning, and they're a big contributor to Pennsylvania, Punxsutawney, and Groundhog Day. Thank you to them. The emeritus member of the Inner Circle, Tommy Birdie, big win maker. There's an Inner Circle member that we need to acknowledge. Former president, former handler, Bill Dealey is no longer with us. Dealey. Bill Dealey was a big part of this for many years, and we miss him. Now, for our current Inner Circle, please say hello to Patrick Osakowitz-Ozone. Pat Cassidy is head huntsman. Former President Jeff Lundy, fair weatherman. Farkas, frostbite. Jay Lundy is overcast. Say hello again to Jason Grusky, big chill. Chief Healthman John Johnson. Robbie Gemmel is storm builder. Daybreaker, Jory Sirian. On the groundhog call was Rob McCoy, Downpour. And that over there is Butch Iceman Philliver. And no one has worked harder this morning to entertain you than Dr. Dave Thunder Conductor Lottie. And for our ceremony, your friend, our friend, his handler, AJ Room, is Rainmaker. And the president of the Punxsutawney Groundhog Club and the only man who can speak to Punxsutawney Phil is the president, Thomas Dungle Shingle Shaker.
I want to talk about this cane. This cane is handed down from president to president. My father once held this very cane, and before him, Storm Builder's grandfather held this very cane. This cane gives me the ability to speak Groundhogese. That's how I communicate with Phil, through nods, chirps, winks, and purrs. What we're going to do is, according to 140 years of tradition, I will take this cane and I will knock 3 times on the barrel door. Then his handler, A.J. Groom, will gently lift Phil high in the air for all to see. He will then place Phil upon the stump, where Phil and I will have a little talk about whether he sees his shadow or not. If it's my shadow I see, 6 more weeks of winter there will be. No shadow, an early spring. He will then have me choose the appropriate scroll. And it will be read by the Vice President, Dan McGinley. Gentlemen, are you ready? Daybreaker, please place the royal red carpet. Moonshine, please place the scrolls upon the stump. Now it's a tradition to get Phil fired up by chanting Phil, 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 Phil. It's Punxsutawney Phil! Gentlemen, gather around. We have a scroll.
Okay. Everybody in? Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. Now on this February 2nd, Punxsutawney Phil, the seer of seers, prognosticator of all prognosticators, was awakened from his wintry nap at dawn on Gobbler's Knob. Phil looked to the skies and then, speaking in Groundhogese, directed President Dungle to the proper scroll, which reads, "It's my great honor to answer your annual call. So I rise again this morning to greet you all. But today I wake thinking of numbers and time. America turns 250 and I'm at least 139.
So right now, happy Groundhog Day, everyone. Punxsutawney Phil is giving his prognostication as we are speaking right now. We're live on WCNC Plus. 11 degrees, that's where we're at right now. Very cold. 6 degrees around Lincolnton, 4 degrees around Albemarle, and then 10 degrees around Statesville, 14 up in Jefferson. Welcome to the coldest morning we've had since 2022. And by the way, I just heard Punxsutawney Phil officially just saw his shadow. Alas, that means 6 more weeks of winter, but that's okay. I thought Phil was going to give a better prognostication, but maybe us here in the Carolinas, we're going to be okay. So just saw his shadow. That is breaking news. Just came in my ear that Punxsutawney Phil officially predicting 6 more weeks of winter. Come on, Phil. I thought you'd do better. My groundhog, Jeffrey, by the way, is saying spring is right around the corner. It's okay, Phil. We forgive you. 47 degrees for tomorrow, right around 20 degrees on Tuesday, 39 on Wednesday. Wednesday's a big question mark. I think on Tuesday evening, we start to see some scattered rain on and off, especially south of I-85, and then we even could see a wintry mix on Wednesday evening. And then beyond that, either side of 50 degrees heading into the weekend, which is great because it should be right around 54 degrees. Again, happy Groundhog Day, everyone. Catch us live on WCNC Plus. See you soon.
So I apologize. So what we're going to do is AJ's going to come up to the front of the stage, and we're going to ask you to turn around and do a selfie.
All right, if you're just joining us, WCNC Plus. So we had to cut into programming on NBC to give the weather forecast. We literally to the 10 seconds away, but officially Phil saw his shadow. So you see a shadow on a sunny day, as you can see up above, so that means 6 more weeks of winter. I was predicting that Phil was going to say spring's around the corner as a PR move. But no, Phil tried and true, but Phil's only been right 35% of the time. And if you hear that in the background? So right there, that is the classic song that was playing on repeat if you ever seen Bill Murray's Groundhog Day. So they're still rejoicing even though we're calling for 6 more weeks of winter. We'll be live again from Gobbler's Knob, Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, as alas, 6 more weeks of winter, the prognosticator of prognosticators say. But that's okay, Phil. We forgive you. All right, we'll be right back after these messages. Welcome back, everyone. If you're just joining us, Phil disappointed us, calling for 6 more weeks of winter. Now, yes, I know there would have been 6 more weeks in general, but truly, it makes sense because whenever it's a sunny day, an animal's going to cast a shadow, so he's tried and true. But I thought Phil was going to wise up and said, wow, people really need this. But no, Phil, come on. What are you doing? You know what? I'm not mad about it. I'm a little disappointed, but I'm not mad. I know when your parents said that was awful, but 6 more weeks of winter, he indeed did see his shadow. So alas, and we're feeling like it. By the way, my guy Jeffrey, the Groundhog, Jeffrey with a Geoff, by the way, to embrace the alliteration, is calling for spring to be right around the corner. Now, Phil facts, since the late 1800s, this officially would be the 110th time that Phil has seen his shadow. So this brings us up to a solid 78% of the time calls for a shadow. See, for my prediction, I wanted to say that, of course, fall with the norm. Come on, Phil, this is the time. This is back in previous years that we've had some of the worst winters that Phil can't just give us one. And there's been 10 times that there's actually no record, especially earlier on. It wasn't as consistent of a tradition. So a lot of people have been asking, I don't get it. Seems like if it's sunny, it should be better winter. Well, no. This is all based on a superstition called Candlemas Day. Candlemas actually based on a poem that goes, if Candlemas be fair and bright, winter takes another flight. If Candlemas bring clouds and rain, winter shall not come again. So the superstition is if it's sunny on the midpoint of winter, because that's what this is, or roughly, it will only get worse for the second half of winter. Meanwhile, if it's cloudy, dreary, not a good looking day, well, hey, this is such a crummy midpoint that it can only get better for the second half of winter, right? Well, that's where the superstition comes from. And alas, as I mentioned, Punxsutawney Phil is only right 35% of the time. Now, he does have a lot more stats against him, where most groundhogs across the United States only have 20 years or less. But one of the more famous ones, actually, is Staten Island Chuck, compared to his tradition. So we're going to see what that groundhog says, and we'll try to get that live update here on WCNC+. Well, he is actually right 85% of the time. So I'm going to Staten Island because I don't like Phil's prediction. Now, this is a poor choice to say, well, I don't like what you said, I'm going to find somebody that agrees with me. But we'll see. Staten Island Chuck actually in recent years has been the go-to, hey, what he says usually goes. So if he says 6 weeks more winter, yikes. We've already done enough winter, in my opinion. 11 degrees, that's where we're at right now. It is single 11 degrees. The best news I have for you is not as windy as yesterday. Yesterday, you could audibly hear the wind chimes, so it actually feels like the actual air temperature. But because of the sunshine, we're still going to melt a lot of things away, and we're also going to get above freezing. So I think that we're going to have more of that slushy snow. The snow was such a fine, powdery snow. It was blowing all over the place. If you tried to make a snowball, you could. It was better if you used your hands because your hands actually melted a little bit. Well, that's what the sun's going to do. Even though the sun's rays, 90% of them reflect off the snow, has a high albedo is what it's technically called, and that's why you usually need your sunglasses, and you need them again today, that at least it's going to soften the snow up. And over the next 5 days, we have a nice little come up. We have 40 degrees today, 47 tomorrow. We're starting around 20, so that's actually better. If you lower things so much, around 10 degrees, and bring it up to 20, no problem whatsoever. And then once you get to around Wednesday, that's where rain starts to roll in. And now you might not take a guy with a groundhog hat seriously, but just letting you know we will have a chance for a wintry mix heading into your Wednesday evening. After that, a nice mix of clouds and sunshine. We even have a nice little rebound. Look at that, 51 degrees, and dare I say, even close to 60 degrees a little bit later on. All right, that's enough talking about groundhogs, at least on my end. And the weather report, I'll show you the 10-day forecast coming up next, and a little bit more on those groundhog facts coming up. But first, let's go back to Autumn.
All right, thank you, Chris. 50s and 60s. Oh, that sounds nice. Well, at 7:34, it's time for us to connect the dots when we make the news make sense. Well, many people will be getting back behind the wheel for the first time since historic snowfall this weekend. There's one thing you should do before you drive. If you have snow or ice on the roof of your car, you should clear it off. Let's connect the dots. Driving with snow on top of your car is dangerous. Huge chunks can fly off, leading to damaged windshields and even more problems on the roads. Snow blowing off the top of your car also reduces visibility for drivers behind you. And you can hurt yourself. If you need to brake suddenly, the snow could come down over your windshield and then block your view. Driving with snow on top of your car is illegal in some states up north, but it's not outlawed in North or South Carolina. Now, if you don't want to clear off your car, you can park in a garage or don't drive at all, and that's connecting the dots. Well, despite lots of progress clearing the roads, extremely cold temperatures were sitting at about 10 degrees right now, and the threat of more ice is still a concern throughout our area.
WCNC Charlotte's Richard Devane is live in South Charlotte. And Richard, you're out of your Chevy Storm Tracker, and now you are out in the elements.
That is absolutely correct, Megan. Good morning to you. Good morning, Autumn. Yeah, Majestic is taking over the Majestic Mobile right now, the Chevy Storm Tracker. I'm standing out to show you something. Want to take a look right behind me? I'm going to step out of the way, let Ruben show you. This is a secondary road, one of the many dozens, hundreds of secondary roads in Charlotte. This one is in pretty good shape, but there's still ice patches. The reason why, look, we've got these trees, this canopy of trees, like when Chris talked about the sun and burning over and the temperatures falling. One of the things you have to remember is that when you have tree foliage, when you have all this canopy of trees, which we do in Charlotte, it's going to be hard for that sun to get to it. So even as the sun comes up, there are going to be slick spots all around our city. It's going to make driving extremely difficult. In Uptown, we saw streets that were completely iced over. We saw streets, secondary roads, as we went north of Charlotte. So this is the problem that a lot of folks are going to have for their morning commute. And even in Uptown, we saw those, as we said, streets that were iced over. We saw sidewalks that are also iced over. So as people step out of their townhomes, their apartments, buildings in Uptown and around the city for that matter, be very careful. If you haven't sanded, it's your property, you know the situation. Even those of us who didn't sand this weekend and fell because it's our fault, we know the situation. So if someone else is responsible for that and they haven't sanded, you could also face some tough going. So remember, roads, the secondary roads, are going to be tough getting in and out of your complexes. As you drive in the morning, we want you to slow down, take your time, because things can be a little treacherous, especially as more folks feel more comfortable and see, well, there's some sun. I'm seeing some ground melted, some snow melting on the ground. Even still, take your time. If you don't have to go out, give it some more time, folks. Give it some more time. We didn't see a lot of major things, but we did see one of the things we want to remind you. We saw up and down the road several cars that had been in wrecks this past weekend. Then they're still there. So just be careful so you're not one of those. We'll send it back to you guys in a nice, warm studio.
Richard, it's actually not that warm right now. We have a door open, so but that's another story for another time. But Richard, when you were driving today, you know, some of these roads
when Ruben was driving,
when Ruben was driving, and you were doing your lovely presentation, right? Yeah. There was some slick spots, right? Good road, but those slick spots. So what were you seeing with that?
Yeah, like I said, we saw slick spots. Now, this is important. We saw slick spots even on roads that were really well kept. The interstates, for instance, 85 and 77, there were still slick spots off to the side. We saw slick spots on Sugar Creek. We saw slick spots. Try and say that 3 or 4 times fast. We saw these spots all around the city, so there's no rhyme or reason. One of the things we want to say, areas with a lot of trees, areas that are darker during the daytime that you might normally pass by, if you're familiar with those are areas you're going to see that. Areas where water normally pools up, you're going to see that. So it's important to make a note if those are your normal areas that you travel in. And like Ruben, shoot over here with this car trying to back in. This is the situation in a lot of businesses and places like that. This is what you're faced with, cars there. We did see along Billy Graham Parkway 3 cars within, I'd say, an eighth of a mile that were just had wrecked, were abandoned. We've seen them off of 77. We've seen them off of Independence. Folks having issues, either having to just leave their car or their car getting in such a wreck and now waiting for a trucker to come by when everything is safe for them to get that vehicle, take it away. So we don't want that to happen to anyone out there, anyone watching us on the Plus. So be careful, guys. We'll be back in a few minutes with more. We'll have much more, and we'll tell you about these road conditions. And of course, Majestic and the Majestic Mobile will have a lot more for you as far as the traveling conditions.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. Thank you so much, Richard. Well, this morning, 2 people are recovering after being rescued by emergency crews on Waxhaw Highway. First responders found both people trapped inside the car after it went down an embankment and into a creek. Fire crews worked to free them, and both were safely pulled out. One person was taken to the hospital for further evaluation. Right now, officials are reminding drivers to stay off icy roads and, if possible, saying conditions can be unpredictable and dangerous.
Well, despite us here in the Charlotte metro and surrounding areas seeing winter weather back-to-back weekends, Charlotte's Restaurant Week is going forward. We heard from Queens Fest organizers. They say folks are still out and about enjoying our local restaurants. If you weren't able to make it out this weekend, we know a lot of those businesses had to close in light of the weather. There is still time for you Many of the participating restaurants are extending their 3-course meal deals into next week.
We are, and a lot of them are actually staying open. And we've had about 75 of our participants extend restaurant weeks, some of them through next weekend. So this is the first time we've gotten a double whammy since we've been doing Restaurant Week. Last weekend with the ice, and then this weekend with the snow.
So glad they were able to extend that. Organizers say if you do go out to a restaurant this week, you still want to make sure to call ahead to ensure that they are open. Now, for those that enjoy NASCAR, you may have to wait a little while for its return as far as the Cookout Clash. It was originally set to happen on Sunday, but it has since been pushed back a second time to Wednesday afternoon. Crews have been clearing off the tracks at Bowman Gray Stadium. This decision to postpone the NASCAR Cup Series exhibition was made in an abundance of caution for the competitors and, of course, the fans. We know those fans are a critical part of what makes the Clash so great.
And before we head to break, a reminder, the Scouting for Food Drive is underway, and this is the 34th year that WCNC Charlotte has partnered with the Scouts. This week, Scouts are dropping off door tags. If you get one, they'll be back this Saturday morning to pick up your donations. Just leave your items in a bag on your doorstep by 9 a.m. Even if you don't get a door tag, you can still help. Just text Scout for Food to 501-555 to make a monetary donation. Every dollar donated provides 4 pounds of food to help feed the hungry. Well, lights, camera, action at the Biltmore Estates.
Yet again, Hallmark is filming another Christmas movie there. Rashad Williams takes us behind the scenes.
I feel like Biltmore is the ultimate Christmas destination for Hallmark.
Same enchanting place.
To see it at Christmas while getting to work here it's a pinch me moment.
But a different, captivating era.
So special to be part of the history of this house, and then to be back for a grand Biltmore Christmas has just been absolutely magical.
Rolling.
Our cameras were in Asheville at the Biltmore as production kicked off for the sequel to 2023's release of A Biltmore Christmas.
The first movie really hit a chord with the Hallmark audience.
Despite the cold conditions, filming of A Grand Biltmore Christmas captures how relationships heat up between the characters.
It's a love story told through time. I know the characters meet when they're younger, then they meet again when they're a little bit older. They fall in love and they have to make this decision. Do they stay in the past? Do they go to the future?
Several spots in the city will also be showcased.
That main drag across from the Biltmore building, it's all lit up white, where that's a great spot to have a little walk and talk. And Pax Tavern is gorgeous. You know, it's got a lot of depth, it's got a lot of personality. And the theater just has a lot of that hometown kind of feel too.
A Grand Biltmore Christmas will premiere this year as part of Hallmark Channel's 17th annual Countdown to Christmas programming event.
I think George and Edith Vanderbilt would be very proud of what we're doing here and how we're bringing Biltmore to life in an all-new way.
All right, putting North Carolina's film scene on the map. At 7:47, President Trump says the Kennedy Center may close for about 2 years for major renovations. He wrote the plan still needs approval from the board he appointed. President Trump said the closure would start July 4th with financing already in place. According to the president, experts and advisors reviewed several construction options before recommending a full shutdown. He added these renovations would lead to a grand reopening once that work is complete.
At the Grammys last night, several artists used their moment in the spotlight to take action and a stance against immigration enforcement. Billie Eilish, Finesse, and Carole King were among those wearing pins calling attention to concerns about ICE. Some winners used their speeches to share personal stories or express support for immigrant communities. Others highlighted the work of observers, organizers on the ground in Minneapolis. The visible show of solidarity marked one of the most prominent cultural responses to the ongoing immigrant debate. Well, Bad Bunny is heading into the Super Bowl week with a historic Grammy win under his belt. His album became the first all Spanish language project to take home Album of the Year at the show. He also won Best Music Album, earning a standing ovation from the crowd. During his speech, he used a moment to speak about dignity and humanity, drawing loud applauses. It is all set for the stage for even bigger spotlight when it performs the big day on Sunday.
And it is Black History Month. We're going to be sharing with you a discovery by a Black inventor that changed the way we enjoy one of America's favorite treats. Stay with us.
All right, so I want to show you what not to do. So what you're looking at right here is like, oh, it's a house fire. Well, this is up in New England where a man was trying to melt ice and snow from his roof with a blowtorch. And this is what happened. So this you seem like this should be the obvious thing. Don't use a blowtorch to melt your ice and snow. Well, now you can see what happens. This isn't a joke. This is truly a winner of the Darwin Awards that you're looking at right here. Luckily, it looks like everyone was okay. So that's the one piece of information that I do have for you. But yep, this is what happens again when you use a blowtorch to melt snow off your roof. Alas. But again, happy everyone's okay. But come on, what are you doing? Okay, so for our next precipitation chances, I've removed my groundhog hat. I'm going to put it back on for the 8 o'clock because guess what? Staten Island Chuck, who has an 85% success rate dating back to 1981, is coming up right around 8 o'clock. We can't live stream here, but I will let you know because I have my finger on the pulse for this Groundhog Day. Scattered potential rain for your Tuesday night. That's also going to linger into your Wednesday morning, but then Wednesday night, things could go down. So here's what's happening. We are overall looking at a chance for a little bit of precipitation that is mainly going to be, I think, a rain-snow mix for the Charlotte area. But here it is in the short term, seeing some scattered rain showers, and then eventually, I think, heading into Wednesday evening, once the sun sets and temperatures get a little bit chillier, we start to see some snow expand right here. Now, I am showing you a little bit of darker blues. Guess what the darker blues do? That will show a quick downburst of some snow. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do have a quick little dusting and a coating of snow, especially north of Charlotte. So something that we're watching closely. So we could have a light accumulation heading into your Wednesday evening and then also early morning hours on Thursday. But honestly, this is nothing compared to what we just saw. Looking at some of our snowfall potential here, I'm going to let things roll over the next 72 hours. Watch what happens. You see a little bit of dusting to coating, but not a lot comes out of this. Most likely dealing with a mix of that rain and snow. 11 degrees, that's where we're right now. We did officially drop down to 10 degrees, so the coldest morning did verify since December 24th, 2022. Here's your 7-day forecast, seeing temperatures either side of 50 degrees. Now, it's usually at this moment that Majestic's right over there. But no, Majestic's out there in our Chevy Storm Tracker or Traffic Tracker. Hello, Majestic, good morning.
Hi, Chris. It is actually really beautiful out here on this Monday morning. We've been driving all around to give you some updates. Want to show you we are right here on Billy Graham, and you can see the roads are nice and dry. The snow is nicely plowed off to the sides. There are still some slick and icy spots. You can see it right there. Just having to drive careful and just for the conditions. But it's been so beautiful all morning long. I mean, we haven't come across any serious problems, but we have seen some cars on the sides of the roads. I would suspect that this is probably from the other day. Again, as you're heading out the door, I would say you might want to grab your sunglasses. It is so bright out here, but Chris, we've been watching the full moon and the sunrise at the same time. It was so beautiful, and the full moon is the first one of February, and it's called the snow moon. I'm like, this is so fitting for a name of the full moon. Anyways, this is what we're seeing for now. We'll have another check on the area roadways all coming up here soon.
Oh, a snow moon. Look at that
I know,
sunshine.
It's very rare here in the Carolinas that things correlate, but of course, Autumn, there is also one fantastic thing about February that it is also Black History Month.
That's right, and today in Black History, we recognize Alfred Crawley, the inventor who helped transform how Americans enjoy ice cream.
Whoa.
Who doesn't love ice cream? Now, on February 2nd, 1897, he patented the first one-handed ice cream scoop, a tool designed to make serving easier and faster.
And his invention quickly spread across the country and it became a staple of the ice cream shops. So Crawley's work was a part of a larger wave of the innovation by Black inventors in the decades after the Civil War. His invention remains a reminder of the creativity and impact that Black inventors throughout history have done. And wow, it seems like...
What would be without the scoop?
I know, seriously, and it was really unique because we just showed a little image of it, so it was a little bit more triangular, so I think it got a little bit rounder, but it makes you think, what were people doing before then?
They were creative. I always wonder what people were doing back in the day. Before we leave, okay, Phil.
Okay. We got to get going. Phil says 6 more weeks of winter, but Staten Island Chuck is coming up, and I'll have my full cut in on NBC. We'll see you here soon. 12 degrees is actually warmer than where we were. We officially hit a low of 10 degrees with Salisbury. You were at 1 degree. You have 1 single degree right now. So welcome to the coldest air that we've had since December 2022. Boy, are we feeling it. And our highs today, at least we got up to 40 degrees. We're going to melt a lot of that snow today, but we're still going to see remaining snow for, I think, the better part of a week. Sunshine galore, though. This is one of the sunnier days that we actually have going forward. Temperatures mainly hanging out in the mid to the upper 30s, but at least we don't have too much of a wind chill. 7-day forecast brought to you by the Jerry Hunt Super Center. Mixing through the 40s. We're back above freezing on Wednesday. Chance for rain Tuesday night and Wednesday, even a wintry mix on Wednesday evening. All right, my counterpart, Majestic Storm, is actually out and about in our Chevy Storm Tracker. Good morning to you.
Good morning, guys. Well, we're keeping a close eye on area roadways. Right now, we're on Billy Graham Parkway heading towards Woodlawn. Let me tell you, you're going to want to grab those sunglasses because it is so bright and sunny. Most of the main interstates continue to look all right, but as you can tell, there will be some snow still out there on some of the secondary roads. We are here watching the roads for you all morning long on WCNC Plus, so join us over there. We'll have the very latest traffic and news coming up soon.
You're watching Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. Thanks so much for joining us. It is 8:04 right now, and Majestic Storm, she's been in the studio all morning just tracking these roadways for you, but now she's out on the road. She is getting out on the streets. Majestic, how is it looking out there? Where are you at right now?
We've been driving all around this morning, Megan. We were earlier at hold on, I have to take out my IFB because I can hear myself. 1 second, so if you try to talk to me, I'm not going to be able to hear you because I could hear my echo. But we were driving on I-85 and we went up towards Lowell and McAdamville. Conditions on I-85 actually looked just fine. We haven't been seeing any big problems there. We turned around, headed back towards Charlotte, and again, no big issues on I-77, but I'll show you where we are right now. We're on South Tryon, so wanted to see what the other areas look like besides the main interstates, and honestly they look great. A lot of the plows of course have been here and have plowed those roads, and you can see the snow's just kind of off to the sides. Once we're coming to the stop here, you can still see that there is still some snowpack out on the ground, so just kind of driving with caution. Of course, going to be number one as you're heading out this morning. I will say you might want to grab your sunglasses because it is so beautiful and bright out here. We've seen a couple of cars actually out in the ditch, but I don't think it happened today. I think those are kind of cars that are still out from Saturday when we had all that snow coming down, because today it's been relatively quiet. I think traffic is actually a little less than it typically would be because of course a lot of kids are not in school. We're not seeing those school buses. Still seeing some plow trucks here and there, and I've noticed driveways, if they were shoveled they look good, but if not then it's all really iced over. Most of the businesses all look fine too. Over bridges, main bridges, conditions look fine, but I always tell people when I'm doing traffic, of course, when you're driving in the morning, sometimes you're in a rush and you're trying to get to where you need to be, but truthfully, bridges are the areas that you need to be specifically careful with, because if there's any slick spots, I mean, that's where you'll likely encounter it, because you have that cold air going over and under the bridges. Even on and off ramps, I would just continue to drive with caution. I'm just looking all around, seeing if there's anything else I can tell you this morning, but truthfully, again, we are on South Tryon Street. We're heading towards the Westinghouse Boulevard. Haven't seen any big concerns, so hopefully we can keep it that way. We're gonna continue to drive around and give you some updates as we're heading into the next couple of hours. I think I can hear you now.
Yeah, you can hear me now without echoing?
Yes, much better.
Okay, perfect. I hate when that happens, you guys. When that happens, it is just, back in your head and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't even know what I'm saying because all I hear is myself. So that's good that you can hear me. Okay, Majestic, I do have to say, when you are going on these roadways and it seems clear, even myself this morning was kind of confident, but then there's these other spots like that come out of nowhere under these bridges and stuff like you were saying. What would your suggestion be to drivers to just not get too cocky out there?
Yeah, I think you can never drive with too much confidence. We were talking about this earlier this morning as, conditions look great and then all of a sudden maybe you can't even tell that there's a frozen spot or a slick spot. So with temperatures still so cold, I would just say assume that there are going to be some slick and icy spots. I think if you're not assuming that, then you're probably going to get yourself in some trouble. Again, this is kind of a live camera look. We're heading towards Westinghouse Boulevard. We like to see the sunshine today and temperatures continuing to warm, so we'll continue to see some of that snow melts on those roads and especially some of those snow packs. But with such cold temperatures over the next few days, it's going to take several days before we see all of it continue to melt. Of course, the biggest concern being on those roads is that we'll have some melting throughout the daytime hours and then each and every morning and even late at night. You just have to continue to keep this in mind, that temperatures are so cold that any moisture that's left on the ground could likely refreeze.
Awesome. Majestic, thank you so much. We really appreciate you. Stay safe out there, and we'll check back in with you a little later.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, now we're turning it over to Richard Devane, who was actually in that Chevy Storm Tracker, but we were calling it Richard Devane's Chevy Storm Tracker because he's been in it pretty much all weekend. Richard, what are you seeing out there right now? And you're in South Charlotte.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct, Meg. On the mornings, we've got just to look at the consistency, it looks like snow, but it's, I mean, it is snow, but it's just melted into this hard ice thing. But one thing we can tell you, you got situations like this all around where now businesses are trying to dig out from what this storm left behind. This truck has actually been here for a while trying to get this parking lot in some semblance of shape. So whenever employees come back, we have seen a couple pull up this morning already, they'll be able to get in here. And that's the issue. Secondary roads and businesses, apartments, things like that, it's tough going because while the roads are getting better, those secondary roads, those sidewalks, those are the things that folks have to be careful on. So even as you try to make your way out and about to do whatever you have to do, if you have to get out there, it's going to be tough. Those first steps, that first bit of your morning commute, if you will, or that drive, getting to your car, if you haven't sanded your yard, your walkways, driveways, this is what you're going to be faced with. And when you get to your businesses, a lot of them are doing this. This is what a lot of businesses are going to have to do, have someone out here trying to clear the path, because they know that even though we're getting some sun, we're going to get some melting. Those temperatures will drop again tonight. We're going to get some more melting and refreezing. So we're a few days from just everybody and enjoying themselves and being able to forget about this snow. But as of now, we can tell you that is what's going to happen. Be very careful. Continue to not get cocky is the word of the day. Don't get cocky when you're behind the wheel, and definitely don't get cocky as you're trying to get to either behind the wheel or to walk on a sidewalk, because a lot of them might still have some ice on them. Be careful out there, guys. Send it back to you, Megs.
And Richard, you got a little cocky on Saturday because I heard you took a little tumble.
Yeah, I took one before I even started, and I'm feeling it today. So I was in my Devane storm tracker where I could at least have the heat on in the back and kind of work on my back a little bit, but they said no, because that's actually making Richard feel better. So let's get him outside in the cold so that cold weather can get back on my back and make it worse. So if you don't see me the rest of the week, you'll know why, guys.
Okay, Richard, thank you so much. We appreciate you.
See you in a few.
Okay. We're going to take a quick little 2-minute break right now, but you're watching Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're watching Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. The time now is 8:13. Governor Josh Stein did come on yesterday to give a briefing to everyone about the roadways, about emergency situations. So let's listen in to what he has to say.
Good morning. Yesterday we had the kind of snowstorm that we don't get very often in North Carolina. We had 16 inches of snow in Lexington, 15 inches in Ocean Isle. All 100 counties experienced snow, much of it in the east. So wherever you're watching this today, I hope you're warm and safe, and I hope that your kids and grandkids are outside playing. Our key message today is to stay off the roads. That way you'll allow the road crews and law enforcement to focus on their essential tasks to keep us all safe. DOT has 2,500 people out working overtime to try to clear as much snow today as they can. But our fear is that with temperatures staying below freezing today and much of tomorrow, many roads will be bad in many places across the state for days to come. We have a lot of miles of road in North Carolina, so it's going to take some time. And we're asking for your patience as our teams work around the clock to clear the roads. In addition, black ice is going to remain a risk throughout the week because of below freezing nighttime temperatures. For your own safety and for the safety of the people clearing the roads, please stay at home if you possibly can. This is no joke. This weekend, we saw more than 1,000 collisions, including 2 fatalities, and a major traffic jam involving more than 100 vehicles on I-85. I want to thank the State Highway Patrol, the North Carolina National Guard, and local law enforcement for clearing that traffic jam in fewer than 3 hours. If you must drive, keep it slow and maintain much more distance than normal from the cars in front of you so that you have time to brake. Avoid sharp turns and sudden stops. And travel with a full tank of gas, a charged phone, and a blanket in case you get stuck. We're also concerned about the cold, especially in western North Carolina, where the wind chill temperatures could drive us well into the negatives. This will increase the strain on the electrical grid tomorrow morning as people try to stay warm. Utility companies encourage all of us to be mindful of our energy use overnight and tomorrow, including turning off the lights that we're not using and avoiding using major appliances. If you lose power, wear layers and sleep with a lot of blankets. Know the signs of frostbite, like losing feeling and color in your fingers, and hypothermia, which creates uncontrollable shivering and disorientation. If someone in your home displays these symptoms, call 911. On the Outer Banks, we've seen road conditions deteriorate. NC-12 had to be closed due to ocean overwash, and with heavy winds and high tides, it might take a while to reopen. Please stay off the roads there and be alert for any flooding. Do not drive through floodwaters. For the most up-to-date roadway information, visit drivenc.gov. Today is a special day for North Carolina because we just don't get snow like this very often. So have fun, stay off the roads, and stay safe. Thank you. I'll now invite forward North Carolina Emergency Management Chief of Staff Don Campbell and then Secretary of Transportation Daniel Johnson. Don.
Thank you, Governor, and good morning, everyone. Many areas across the state saw significant snowfall totals yesterday and into this morning. While the Department of Transportation continues to do an excellent job, many roadways statewide remain snow and ice covered and dangerous. Please continue to stay off the roadways today to let first responders, the NCDOT, and the State Highway Patrol and the North Carolina National Guard operate safely. If you must travel, make sure that you have a disaster supply kit in your vehicle, which includes blankets, extra clothing, food, water, a flashlight, an ice scraper, and a way to charge your cell phone. And please slow down. The state emergency response team remains activated, and as of this morning, there are 33 local states of emergency, with 25 local emergency operation centers activated, with many others monitoring. Additionally, as of this morning, there are approximately 10,500 power outages reported statewide, and the state emergency response team remains in close contact with our energy sector partners as they quickly address any disruptions in power. Remember, if you see downed power lines, treat them as energized and do not approach them. Thankfully, we have limited reports so far of downed power lines. With the extremely cold temperatures, many communities have opened shelters and warming centers. If you cannot stay at home, please visit your local government or emergency management website and social media accounts, or visit readync.gov/winterweather2026 for more information about resources in your area. I want to take a moment to highlight a couple of reminders as we move through the next few days. First, please only dial 911 for an emergency. If you need general information, please call 211. We need to do our best to keep emergency lines open so that those that need immediate help can get it. Second, if you see a disabled vehicle with yellow caution tape on it, it has been checked by a member of the first responder community and no emergency exists. You do not need to report this to 911. Third, many ponds, lakes, and creeks have ice on them. The ice cannot support the weight of a person or a pet. Please stay off the ice. It can be a deadly situation if you fall into the water right now with the water and air temperatures as they are. Please take a moment to speak with your children about this important topic. Finally, as we go through today, precipitation is coming to an end, but with the bitterly cold temperatures throughout North Carolina, it is very important that we remain vigilant. Please check on your friends, family, and neighbors. We are more resilient together. I will now turn it over to Secretary Johnson from the North Carolina Department of Transportation.
Thank you, Chief Campbell and Governor Stein. I want to start by thanking our NCDOT crews, contractors, and other first responders who are working through this winter storm. A statewide storm like this takes an incredible amount of coordination, teamwork, and effort, especially on the heels of the one we are still recovering from last weekend. The good news is that this was a cold, dry snow, which makes it easier to clear than the ice we saw last weekend. The bad news is that as far as road clearing, we have record levels of snow in some areas of the state. Our crews were prepared, and we have sufficient salt supplies to address this storm. We're throwing everything we have at this, but it will take days, even in the least impacted areas, to clear the roads. In some areas, it could be up to a week before secondary roads are clear. Please be patient and please stay off the roads unless it's absolutely necessary. If you do have to drive, slow down and give other cars, our teams, and other first responders lots of distance. There are significantly more vehicles on the roads this weekend compared to last. Because of that, we've seen several roadway incidents across the state that were completely preventable. The last thing we want is for cars to be stranded on the roads with freezing temperatures and high winds. While all 100 counties received snow, our northeastern and coastal communities were hit particularly hard. NC 12 remains closed and our ferries continue not to operate for safety reasons. Please visit drivenc.gov for the latest road conditions and any other closures. Today, our focus remains on interstates and highways. Once those are clear and safe for travel, our crews move to other primary routes and other well-traveled roads. If you see a truck not plowing, please keep in mind they may be headed to a specific route where there is a specific need or back to the maintenance yard for resupply. Also, for safety, our plows can't operate when there's sustained winds that exceed 35 miles per hour, which is expected in some areas today. I'm going to say it again because I can't stress this message enough. If you don't have to drive today, please don't. This is for your safety and the safety of our crews. Thank you. I'll turn it back over to Governor Stein.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Secretary Johnson and Chief Campbell. At this point, we're happy to take questions, and if you would, just please use the raise hand function, and you will be recognized.
We're not seeing any questions online.
Very good. Thank you all so much.
Like you heard from Governor Josh Stein, best advice right now is to stay off those roadways as crews do continue to treat them today. We do know that CMS schools are closed for today. And I know a lot of workplaces also closing down for today. So if you do have to get out and about, if you do have to go to work, just remember to take it slow. Be careful. There are still a lot of icy spots on the road. You're watching Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. We're going to take a 2-minute break, but we'll be right back. You're watching Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. If you did get that text message earlier today and yesterday, Duke Energy calling for customers to conserve energy during these extremely, extremely cold temperatures. Caroline Fountain with Duke Energy is joining us now. Thank you so much for being here. And what should customers know as far as conserving energy? What does that look like?
Sure. So as you mentioned, we are experiencing extremely cold temperatures here along the East Coast and here in the Carolinas. And that is why Duke Energy is asking customers to continue conserving energy until 10 o'clock this morning. So things like, for example, postponing your laundry or dishwasher, maybe postponing even that hot shower if you don't have to go anywhere. And then also turning your thermostat to the lowest comfortable setting. Those are a few things that can actually make a big impact in order to make, to avoid any potential power outages and to, help with the lessening of the energy demand on the grid.
I know that actually Charlotte area, looking at Duke's outages, we're looking pretty good right now. So that's some good news. North Carolina, though, some spots around the state. As you were saying, to conserve energy, is there should people make sure to not turn their heat up too much? Is there a sweet spot?
So what I would recommend would be turning your thermostat to the lowest comfortable setting. That's going to be different for every family. But what I would say is, understand that, even if you never touch your thermostat and you keep it at the same setting, the colder it is outside, the harder your heating unit has to work in order to keep your home comfortable.
Are there any other things that customers should know right now with these extreme temperatures?
By helping conserve energy or using less energy, you're actually also going to be helping, your pocketbook. So the less energy that you use, the more money that you're going to be able to save on your next bill.
Have you guys been responding to any big outages at this point? Like I said, Charlotte looking pretty good right now.
So the only outages that we've really been seeing the last couple of days have been, especially when we have all of that snowfall, was a lot of cars or vehicles hitting poles. So that caused a lot of outages. In eastern and western North Carolina, due to the high winds, we saw some outages due to that as well, with trees and limbs falling on power lines. So that is basically what we've been seeing so far with this winter storm.
All right. Awesome. Caroline, we really appreciate you. Thank you so much for taking the time, and stay safe out there.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right. You're watching WCNC Plus Live Impact News. Right now, time is 8:28, almost the 8:30 hour. So we're going to keep it right here on WCNC Plus. When we come back, we're going to have a look at your forecast with our meteorologist, Chris Mulcahy. We'll be right back. Time now 8:30 right here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. We're going to go out to our guy. He's in South Charlotte. You know who I'm talking about, Richard Devane. And Richard, listen, before I get into, safety tips and all of that, I want you to tell the people at home how cold it is outside and how you should be dressing appropriately, because you look appropriately dressed right now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Layers in the morning. Megan in the mornings. I'm working on a tune for that. Good morning to you. Seriously, we'll have a song by next week. Basically, you should have a lot of layers. Shoes, extra socks, if you will, thick socks. Very important. Shoes, thermals. I always use thermals that people use for when they ski and stuff like that. That keeps you a lot warmer. Also, layers and layers so you can take off, especially when you get in the car. Try not to let your body get regulated when it gets in the car, so you want to take off some of those things so you're not turning up the heat, and then when you get out you lose your warmth. Now here's something important to note. Today it feels like it's 25. It's not, but it actually feels like it's 25. That sun is coming out, so that's going to be the hope that it'll actually give us time for workers to remove the snow and stuff like that, and some of that other snow that's all around to melt. Now here's the important thing to note. When you folks step out of your houses, out of your apartments, your townhomes, sidewalks, still slippery, still slick. Parking lots still will be slippery and slick. There's water all around that has melted and frozen over, and that has caused some very slick spots. As a matter of fact, you hear trucks that are passing us. You don't have to shoot over there, Ruben. There are some trucks that have just passed us. They're going over some ice, so there's ice spots all around. Wherever you have a canopy of trees, it's going to be harder for that sun to bake its way through, so that'll create some spots. And anything that is not melted today will refreeze and be a problem for folks tomorrow morning. So here's some key things. We're going to get up above freezing today for a little bit. It won't be till at least the afternoon, so please don't venture out if you don't have to. That means don't go on the roads. If you don't have to go walking your dog or something like that, and if you do, be very careful. Be careful out there, because there's still going to be some slick spots around here. And of course, guys like this working all around trying to clear that ice, trying to get rid of it, that'll give them more time to get their work done. We've seen the interstates are looking pretty good. Secondary roads are still the problem, and folks are working to make sure that everything gets cleared away, including Mother Nature with that sun. It feels so good. It doesn't feel like it's like 16 degrees out here. It feels really warm. But then again, I'm warm because I've got the love of folks like you in the station. Yep, because you love me so much, you send me outside.
We love you so
you
much.
Send me outside.
And you look great.
Me out of Storm Tracker. And you put me on the streets. I'm a street person.
You're a street guy, listen, and you do it the best. I'm a
street guy, that's true. I do love it.
Okay, Richard, thank you so much.
In the mornings.
Thank you much. Okay, bye. All right. Now let's actually get the real temperature. Richard threw out some numbers right there, but let me toss it over to our guy. Two guys right now. We got Jeffrey and
Jeffrey.
His name's Jeffrey.
Yeah. So this is Jeffrey.
Jeffrey.
So what happens is the name has changed every year, and then our producer Dorje brought up Jeffrey, but we're talking about Geoffrey, so it's the G. The G. Yeah. Jeffrey the Groundhog. You also have the assonance J. So so this is Jeffrey, and Jeffrey earlier was trying to say 6 more weeks of winter, and I said no. This should be a PR move, but clearly most of the groundhogs, I'm on my groundhog soapbox, it's like, come on. I was just like, even if you're wrong, because bring up the groundhog reports. All right, get me out of here. All right, so here it is. I've been off listening to different prognostications of prognosticators. Punxsutawney Phil, as you probably already heard, 6 more weeks of winter. Buckeye Chuck, the only one that I think is actually got it together, saying around the corner spring is. So I don't know why he talks like Yoda. But anyways, Buckeye Chuck saying spring right around the corner. So that Queen City is saying that, because it's right around Cincinnati, that they're going to have spring coming up. Meanwhile, we have General Beauregard Lee. That means in Georgia saying 6 more weeks of winter. And the most accurate of them all, where the National Weather Service did an article on this last year, Staten Island Chuck has actually been right 85% of the time since 1981. Wow. So that's why I've been off. I've been listening to this off on the side, and they take forever, by the way. When in Groundhoggies, it takes a long time to gather the prognostication. It's a lot of pressure. I get it.
It's a big day.
And hey, this is what I'm saying. The winter's been terrible. Like Phil could have even lied and said, hey, why don't we do this? And it's like, I feel hot and bothered because I was just like, obviously, and I know that this is just a marmot. That's the technical definition of them just giving its prognostication. But when Staten Island Chuck came in with the winter prediction, it was a little hurtful because it's been a rough winter, as we already know. Like, luckily it's February, but the cool thing is Groundhog Day is the midpoint of winter, so at least we're halfway done. But all of these guys are saying that it's just going to get worse after here. Right. Thoughts?
Boo!
I know.
You know, I was telling Chris earlier today that I used to, as a kid, live and breathe by him, right? The groundhog. Yeah. Okay. And I would wake up every morning on Groundhog's Day. And watch my parents would just tell me, 6 more weeks later. And I'd be like, no. I'm like, Mom, please. Like, I was like, yeah, it was awful. And I really thought it was true, though. I was like, lived and breathed by it.
Well, and
we
see,
believed a lot of things as kids.
I'm going to let you know, most of us weather people, meteorologists, weathermen, whatever you want to call us, are against this because we're trusting our predictions into essentially what is a rodent. But for me, I love it. I was the same way.
Like, you're wearing a hat.
I know. Well, and the story of this is, by the way, I think most bosses have not liked this hat.
Why?
But
He has glasses on. He looks cool.
yeah, well, thank you. And these are actually JT's glasses before I lost the original ones. Yeah, I know. Right? And the hat's flopping all over the place. But it was back in 2012 in Dayton, Ohio, that I emceed a Groundhog event. And they said that they would let me wear this hat if I would wear it every Groundhog Day to follow. And I've done it for 14 years now.
Wow.
On air. And even when it's the weekend and I'm not working or vice versa, I'll be wearing it while I watch Bill Murray's Groundhog Day, one of my favorite movies of all time.
Great movie.
Awesome.
Okay. Well, I think I've calmed down a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Because Staten Island Chuck really just disappointed me. Because also up there, they are dealing with much colder temperatures than us.
I know.
That New York City, literally, the Hudson River is freezing over.
Yeah.
So this has been a rough winter, but let's get right to it. I'll talk a little bit more Groundhog since we're already right here. So, Phil facts, plain and simple, since the late 1800s. I have to change this number now. If this is officially the 110th time Phil has seen his shadow. Only 21 other times over 141 years now has there been no shadow, and I don't know what happened the 10 years that he didn't do it. He's just like, I'm not showing up today. I can't do it on this February 2nd. But the way this all originates, and I am your local Groundhog Day expert, I know way too much about this, is that this originates actually from a superstitious day called Candlemas Day. This actually happened in Germany, where they physically put candles in the windowsills on the midpoint of winter. The way the superstition was, and they used a European badger instead of the groundhog. That was the change when we came over here in the United States. But if it was sunny on the midpoint of winter, and at that point an animal is going to cast a shadow or see his shadow, it could only get worse for the second half of winter. So it was all about, is it good or is it bad for the midpoint of winter? So if it's cloudy or snowy or rainy, well, hey, it's such a crummy midpoint, it can only get better, right? So that's where the superstition comes from. So that's the way to remember. If it is sunny and it casts a shadow, 6 more weeks of winter. If it's a dreary, awful day, well, it can only get better because you can't see the shadow. So that's where all of this comes from. But I'm also letting you know it comes from a rhyme that if Candlemas be fair and bright, winter takes another flight. If Candlemas bring cloud, snow, or rain, winter shall not come again. But sadly, 3 of the 4 groundhogs that we all trust are saying that winter is right around not around the corner. 12 degrees is where we're at right now. Boy, is this a winter midpoint of winter. We have 12 degrees right now, calm conditions overall, and officially 10 degrees was our low this morning. So this by far smashes that 14-degree point we hit yesterday, smashes the 14 that we had on January 17th. I remember 16 degrees was the coldest temperature we had all of last year. That hit on December 15th. I was already looking at This is the 6th time this year, we just completed 1 month, that we've been in the teens. That's the most since 2022, where the entirety of 2022, by the way, hit 6 times in the teens. So it really puts in perspective how much and how many times we have been doing this. So the coldest temperature that we've had now since 2022, we hit 9 degrees back on December 24th, and for Christmas Day, it was a low of 13. So that did verify. There was even at one point, I saw that Salisbury, you hit a low of 1 degree. You were in the single digits in Gaston County, and then 3 degrees is the lowest I saw for Albemarle for you. So yeah, it has been quite cold. And also, snowman building forecast. A lot of people were doing this yesterday. You could not do it on Saturday because it was such a fluffy snow. And even yesterday, you had to wait until the sun was really starting to soften up the snow, which takes a while because the sun, actually 90% of its rays bounce off of snow because it's really high, what's called albedo, high reflectivity. That's why it gets so bright when it's snowy out, because literally the sun is beaming off the snow right into your eyes. So if you're going to build a snowman, today I think is the last day before the snow is becoming fleeting. It'll be more touched. It'll get more slushy and harder in spots. So this is, I think, the last really prime opportunity for you to do that. But I also want to take a little side turn over here. I follow a man named Greg, and Carlene, you know this man well. I saw that you all went sledding.
I went sledding for the first time, y'all.
That was your first time?
That was my first time.
Okay, so Autumn also had her first time sledding as well.
It was awesome. We went to Cordelia Park. I don't have a sled, so I took our inner tubes.
That works well.
I mean, that's great too. Yeah,
actually better.
And people were jealous when I got there because there were people coming up. I saw a lady do it on a garbage bag, and I was like,
wow.
"Girl, you can take a turn on my tube."
Yeah, you can take a turn. Oh my gosh! So, what did you think?
It was great.
Mm-hmm.
I was a kid. It was awesome. I was like, I get it.
Yeah, I get it.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I didn't grow it up. I'm in Charleston. I didn't have any opportunity to sled. And in Buffalo, my boyfriend was lame at the time, so I never went.
You never went. And see, growing that to me was wild about Autumn. So it's even wild for me. But both are from the Carolinas,
right?
That makes sense.
I mean, but we were sledding all the time.
Yeah,
I know.
And y'all too.
Y'all
have done miles on sleds.
Yeah.
So when I heard that, I was like, what?
All right, so see if you know this term, flying saucer.
Yes.
Yeah, those are the best.
Yeah,
that was my
flying
favorite.
saucer
It
ones,
literally is like a round little shallow dish, and then you can spin down
like
it.
on Christmas
Yeah.
Vacation,
Yes,
okay,
kind
gotcha.
of. Yeah.
See, that's the thing. It's like people know sledding, if they say flying saucer, they say, oh yeah, I know that.
Yeah. And you go so fast.
And then there's the classic long john, the plastic one. That's what we
There were
had.
some people that had some unconventional materials out there to sled on, and honestly, that was even more entertaining almost than the sledding itself.
Oh my gosh.
Seeing people try to sled on like Tupperware lids and things, like it was wild.
I've never eaten so much crow than that ice event where I said, yep, sorry, not great for sledding. I've never seen so many things sledded on.
Yeah.
It was, I was just like, man, I am not big enough to say that when I was wrong, because boy, did people prove me wrong. It was impressive.
They had a good time.
Yeah, so let me see if I can go through the top of my head. Tray table, upside down table, garbage can. That was that one. Let me see. It was a lot of pieces.
Cardboard.
Lot of cardboard.
A lot of cardboard.
A lot of people were trying to do cardboard. It got very,
My fiance was like, let's just take off our garbage can lid.
Yes.
I'm like, what, do you want to rip it off? Because it's like attached. I'm like, no,
not all of
it's
them.
not that deep.
Some of them have the loosey-goosey, one of the round ones.
Ours is attached.
I saw somebody go down in a laundry basket.
A lot of laundry baskets.
That's a good,
I saw that.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Let me see. I think I also saw... Just trying to reach it because people sent a lot of different videos. Oh yeah, no, it was somebody had an old top of a lawnmower, like a lawnmower hood. Yeah, they went on that.
Wow.
Yeah, that one was impressive.
That is impressive.
Say, you know what?
There's a way, people.
Listen,
exactly.
You can do it.
You can do it.
Yeah, very creative.
And speaking of, I love to feature your photos. So I had this one sent to me directly. So this one is actually sent by Madison Evans. Actually, it's fun. So many. I've done Dog of the Day for 7 years. I featured Madison's dog one time, but Madison now has not a different type of critter.
You say a different dog.
This is. I know. I saved myself, Madison. This is Christopher with a K. So Christopher and Madison and family built this snowman. I'm letting you know,
it's a nice
much
snowman.
better than JT and I's.
Yeah?
Ours went terribly. It was very lumpy because at that point it was like a mix between fluffy and partially melted snow in the morning. And then Romeo kept on stealing the carrots and eating them because he loves carrots. Oh, he's a big fan of that. Yeah, actually, Carlene looked after Romeo.
Yes, so he loves carrots.
Yeah, he loves
carrots.
it.
Loves carrots.
Big carrot guy.
Big carrot.
Big carrot guy. Yeah, he was sore from because he's getting older from running around the snow, but we had a good time. So I want to show off this snowman because mine was terrible. All right. So by the way, if you ever want to send me any photos or our weather team or WCNC, all you have to do is text this number. You already took it on your phone, so this is the easiest way to do it.
Snapshot it.
Yeah. Bloop.
Screenshot.
704
Oh, yeah.
329 3600. Do it. Do it right now. Okay, so let's move on to our next winter precipitation chance. We are looking at a chance for rain initially with this system, but that's going to be Tuesday night heading into Wednesday. So Wednesday we got some scattered precip, and then it's a Wednesday night that things could go down. So here's what it looks like. Let's get right to our futurecast. I'm going to roll tape. You have a chance for more clouds tomorrow, so today is the sunnier day. We're going to melt a lot of snow today, especially on the driveway. So if you shoveled your driveway like I did, and I am so sore because of it, but in my defense, I have a really long driveway. I was showing Megan how long my driveway is, and it's not pleasant. So I got very end of it though, but the sun was below the trees, so things iced up pretty quickly for me. If you're kind of in that case and scenario, there's going to be a lot of melting today and then a lot of evaporation. So that's going to be helpful. Another term to mention, sublimation. That's when you have a solid that goes into a gas. It's another way that we get rid of some of the snow and it starts to shrink. Well, that's both going to happen along with evaporation. But the rain that we're going to see first arrives during your Tuesday evening. The only adjustment I could make here is maybe Charlotte sees it late afternoon Tuesday, and then notice how scattered the rain is. I think then it's going to be mainly south of I-85, but then the back end of your Wednesday, watch what happens. Once temperatures drop below freezing, we're looking at a legitimate snow chance. As of right now, with temperatures in the mid-30s, I think it's more of wet snowflakes, could be falling as more of what we call white rain, seeing some of that scattered snow out and about, and then our snowfall potential, as you can see from the most recent model, barely anything. But this could come up to as much as maybe a ½ inch of snow from place to place, really slushy snow. But honestly, it's not going to be a major impact. Temperatures only dropping down to 31 degrees overnight. But current temperatures right now of 12 degrees, 10 as the bottom. Just letting you know that things are actually trending up, even though it takes a little bit of time. So today's forecast is warmer than yesterday. We hit 37 degrees, which really helps some of the melting. But then the following days, we have 47. Wednesday is above freezing all day long, which is great. And Thursday, we are back to 41 degrees. But at least we are seeing an up and up of the temperatures there afterwards. So once we get to the weekend, we're actually talking about the lower 50s. We should be around 54 for the beginning of February. So this is still a below average trend, but at least it's getting a little bit better. And then I actually want to bring up the 10-day forecast here. The 10-day forecast is our best friend because watch this. We can now see in sight near 60 degrees for day 9 and 10. That 60 is going to be so rewarding, y'all. And the mean trick that we just went through is that we started the month, if you can remember, we hit 74 degrees twice. That I actually look back. The first half of January was the 16th warmest in Charlotte history. The second half of January was the 13th coldest. So we literally flipped the switch from the warmest start to one of the coldest ends to the month. So it is nice that at least we're seeing by the middle of the month that we are going to see an up and up. And as far as our lows are concerned, I think that we're going to see a nice little trend that we start to see more above freezing lows by about day 10, 11, and 12 of February. So that's the good news there. And I also want to say a little thing behind the scenes. I highly dislike saying this month. February, because I guess people say February. It's just I've been corrected so many times saying that I'm not saying the R. How do you guys say this month?
Oh, wait, say yours. Say
February.
February.
Yeah, see, you're saying Feb-U.
Yeah.
I'm saying February like I'm Scooby-Doo.
February.
Yeah.
You know, I just know that because to spell it's like Feb-R-U-ary.
February. Yeah, see?
Yeah.
But then nobody says the R. So then I'm
February.
trying to fit in the R. So I feel like I should just ditch it. But as soon as I start saying February, people call me out.
But you do say some things.
Yeah.
Just because I can tell you're from Massachusetts.
Yeah. Well, that's also, I think
like
that's where it comes
yesterday,
from.
when you say yesterday.
Yesterday.
Well, now you're saying it right.
Well, What you're getting at, though, is we mess up the R's really badly. The Boston accent, my mom always thought it was like what you do is you put the R's where they're not supposed to be, and then you take them away where they should be. Like, ka, ba. But then meanwhile, they say idea, strawberry, library. That one's right, but yeah. Oh, library is what they say, library. So yeah, no, that's probably where it comes from. It's probably my misuse of R's. Oh yeah, and the drawing.
Drawing?
Yeah, and then pulling out that device, we call it a draw.
A drawer?
Yeah, draw.
Draw.
Yeah, I remember writing a 4th grade paper about for some reason they opened up the draw, and then the teacher wrote ER. I was like, pfft, idiot.
Silly.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I know.
I was like, that makes no sense. Draw with an ER must be silent. Yeah, but no, plain and simple, February, however you want to say it, is going to be a up and up trend heading in the right direction, regardless of what the Groundhogs are saying.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you so much, Chris.
Thanks,
Of course, always.
A pleasure with you and Joffrey.
Geoffrey, yeah. very nice.
Geoffrey.
Just like the giraffe.
Yes. Thank you. Okay, so Chris is in here telling us what the weather is like, but Majestic is out there showing us what the roads look like. So we're gonna head on over to Majestic. Majestic, where are you right now, and what are you seeing?
We've been driving around the Lake Wiley area. It's so beautiful out here. And honestly, I would say this is probably where we've seen the worst road conditions across the Lake Wiley area, going over the bridges, going over the water. Right now, we're wanting to see what residential neighborhoods look like. So we're in the Palisades area, and you can tell how iced over the roads are right here. I mean, you can hardly even see any of that black asphalt. So continuing to see just not great conditions. We did see a couple of car accidents, one active one that was kind of like a couple of cars out in the ditch, probably happening on Saturday, but really there are still some trouble spots in the secondary residential neighborhoods. I think this is probably where we're seeing the worst conditions, but we've been stopping at, of course, the stop signs and the stop lights, and we haven't had any big issues. A little bit of slick and icy conditions going up and down hills, but for the most part we haven't seen a ton of people out on the roads. Of course, lots of people still home from work, kids home from school. Megan, this is what a neighborhood right now is looking like out in Lake Wiley. Again, we're in the Palisades neighborhood.
Eek. You can, ice skate on that, really. It's a lot of ice out there, huh?
Eek is right. Yeah.
When you are like stopping at stop signs, do you find your guy? I know Chevy Storm Tracker is really, really equipped and legit, has 4-wheel drive, all of that. But do you find yourself sliding at all, or just because you're going so slow that it's been okay?
Okay, we're doing a brake check right now. Mason, how's our brake check? There we go. He says good.
It looks good to me. You guys look great.
Maybe we need to really pick up some speed and then slam on the brake. Just kidding. Don't do
Okay,
that.
yeah, no, don't do that.
We've been just cruising slowly, so we really haven't had any problems. But this is just giving perspective as to what the residential areas look like, because I'm like, well, the main roads, kind of like what I've been saying in my traffic reports, we're not seeing any big problems. But it's just the neighborhoods where it's a whole different story, especially in spots where it's not getting a lot of sunlight, where we're not seeing that melting throughout the daytime hours. So of course this neighborhood is a little bit hilly, so I think it's good to kind of give it a little test drive. And yeah, kind of just exactly what we've been telling everyone. Just make sure if you have some place to be, you're allowing for plenty of drive time, making sure there's a lot of space between you and the car in front of you is important, just in case, a car does start sliding. Otherwise, it's been beautiful. Lots of neighbors out here walking their dogs. And I've noticed the people who shoveled their sidewalk and their driveways, they're in great conditions, but the ones who have not have very slick and icy conditions all around.
All right, awesome. Thanks so much, Majestic. We really, really appreciate it. Be safe out there, and enjoy that beautiful drive, because it is gorgeous. So we appreciate you.
Loved it. Thank you, guys. We'll talk soon.
Okay. All right, we're going to take a quick break here, but when we come back, our Jane Monreal is going to be changing hands here as we move forward, but we're going to take a break. We'll see you back here in about 5 minutes.